En Joguet dona la nota que vegin que a la Seu d'Urgell l'han muntat molt bo el Slalom Cross. I plourà o no plourà lluny? Jo diria que no, perquè apartarem els còmols amb la mà i tirant amb la nostra veu arribarem als nostres campions. Welcome to the Rock Club, la Seu d'Urgell! Slalom Cross! Here we go! Pues sí, como estoy al lado de los de Red Bull y me están dejando dar alas. Y pronto os voy a animar a todos vosotros, porque también os va a pillar alas. ¡Sí! Però quasi ja tenim les valles, no sé si faltava la Marta Martínez per baixar o ja baixar. En tot cas, era l'última representant local i ja tenim gairebé els tècnics dels quadrants femenins. Esas fèmines. Bé, també recordem demà que tenim una segona ronda de slackline aquí entre les semifinals i finals on sortegem unes fabuloses ulleres de sol, unes sunglasses Red Bull. Aquí ho teniu, amb la slackline i espectacle garantit. Slackline, slalom, espectacular. Desde aquí un saludo al Xavier Traver, más de conegut per tothom, i a tota la gent del Parc del Segre que fan possible tota aquesta Copa del Món, que no és poco. A ver, Piltrapilla, ¿tú sabes algún deporte que se haga Copa del Mundo en España? Pues no. Pues sí, aquí en la Seu d'Urgell del piragüismo, ¿eh? Bé, Miquel, lo següent serà una prova d'escalada, no? També, allà ho recordo amb aquest que diuen que tenen aquí. Sí, avui les autoritats han flipat, i és que sí, el Parc del Segre està agafant una forma i color molt bèstia. I amb aquest espectacle que avui posem...
Tenim a Puig Brindis, Canoe i Seques, i Joan Faer, que també és Joan Faer, van amb els diferents mallets identificatius. Puig Brindis per la República Txeca, per Talla, Seques, que va amb el mallet, ara veiem. Es comença a aparèixer la informació durant a mesura que es vagin pacificant. Okay, so this is the first hit for Dan Kiprindis with red. In red, Sistekas from Grace in green, and Churchill from Thailand in blue. 3 colors starting in this first hit. Doncs ja veiem des d'aquesta particular sortida que marca aquest Slalom Cross. Tot a punt, doncs, recordem que en aquest cas no importa el temps, el que importa és arribar primer. Sí que importar el temps de cara de terminar els minitoris, però a partir d'ara ja es tracta simplement d'arribar primer. I a partir d'ara podem ja fer-nos una idea del que és l'Slalom Cross amb aquests espectaculars descensos pitjor màxim de 4 balistes que són els que tindrem en els següents descensos, almenys un de 3 en 3 sobre 2 en 2, i que veiem la primera eliminatòria Pit Brindis, Canoe i Secas, Pit Brindis de la República Txeca per vermell, Canoe i Secas de Grècia de verd, i Rafael Chopper de Tailàndia de blau, amb aquests mallots, amb aquests pesos, com es coneix popularment, doncs, s'identifiquen, i així és com els veiem ara mateix. Per exemple, més endavant la segona manera, Marc Morales seria de vermell i Samuel Hernández de verd. Tenim també, doncs, quan des de la sortida veiem la gent d'organització, els companys del Canoe enviat de l'organització del Món al Món, donant les últimes instruccions, i tot a punt. Serà el primer descens en aquest cas de 3 balistes seguits en competició que es fa al Parc Olímpic del Segre entre Pit Brindis, Canoe i Secas i Rafael Chopper. Doncs ara sí que acaben de començar amb aquest sol des de la zona de sortida i donem plen avantatge Pit Brindis. Veiem com han de remuntar, poden fer des de qualsevol de les dues portes que hi ha aquí en paral·lel. Realment Pit Brindis plen avantatge. Arribarà el punt on han de fer l'esquimotatge. Ara, aquí mateix.
Slalom cross, sí, aquí la tenemos.
Doncs ja tenim aquí a Pit Brindis, superant les 4 de les 5 portes que hi ha. El segueix Secas de Grècia, i ara mateix arriba ja a metre Pit Brindis, que és el primer classificat per a la següent ronda de quarts de final. El segueix Secas de Grècia i en tercer lloc Chopper de Tailàndia. Recordem que passen en aquest cas els 2 primers classificats, per tant Secas també passa. Doncs ha estat, com dèiem, el primer descens d'aquest tipus que es fa aquí al Parc Olímpic del Segre. Se saluden ara. Okay, so congratulations Pit Brindis, Secas, Chopper, the first Slalom curve descent in la Seu d'Urgell. Congratulations. Qualified for quarterfinals, Pit Brindis and Canoe i Secas.
Tenemos 4 rondas para practicar, porque aquí toque falta entreno,
Doncs ara veiem a pantalla, escoltem el Marc Morales amb el mallot vermell, amb el pelo vermell, i a Samuel Hernández amb el verd. Aquí saludant a la càmera, molt bé, i aquí està Samuel Hernández, amb el 159. A punt per la sortida, aquesta sortida que es fa fent aquest salt en aquesta plataforma instal·lada. nou de l'equip espanyol. Passen ara paral·lel per aquestes dues portes vermelles, poden passar per qualsevol de les dues.
Aquí els dos competits mano a mano.
Aquí està la bola de Grant. Frega amb el Marc Moragues. Aquesta posició, Samuel Hernán. Val a dir que tots dos passen a la següent ronda, el primer i el segon. Per tant, doncs, Samuel Hernán i Marc Moragues de tota manera es tornen a trobar als quarts de final. Se saluden Samuel Hernán, Marc Moragues, i com dèiem, ja tenim el primer enquadrament de quarts de final, serà entre Vic Brindis, Panagakis Citecas, Samuel Hernán i Marc Moragues. El torn ara per Jackson Merritt d'Austràlia, que sortirà de vermell, Son Min-hong de Corea de verd, i el també coreà Lee Dong-kwon, que sortirà de blau. Tota la presència coreana que classe en aquesta següent mànega. Sí, els coreans han apuntat a la molt bé, doncs juntament amb l'autoritat Jackson Merritt. Per tant, tres pel·lícules vinguts de Ponentino des de l'altra punta del món, en aquesta Copa del Món, per aquesta ronda. Doncs tot seguit tenim Jackson Merritt, dorsal 155 per vermell, el 162 Son Min-hong de Corea per verd, i el 171 Lee Dong-kwon de Corea també per blau. Doncs aquí tenim a punt per a la sortida. Veiem com, doncs, precisament, a l'extrem dret, Son Min-hong va fins i tot amb càmera subjectiva per immortalitzar, doncs, aquesta sortida, aquest recorregut. Estan a punt. Tercera ronda, efectivament, Jackson Merritt, Son Min-hong, en acció ara mateix. Pren avantatge Jackson Merritt per Austràlia, els dos països coreans seguint-lo de prop en aquesta primera porta. Ara sí, aquestes dues portes vermelles en paral·lel, buscant Son Min-hong. Ara mateix avantatge per Jackson Merritt de l'australià, el seguit de prop de Son Min-hong de Corea i el també coreà Lee Dong-kwon. Arriba ara mateix Jackson Merritt amb avantatge en aquesta quarta i penúltima porta. El continua seguint de prop de Son Min-hong, sembla que Jackson Merritt té avantatge, ara perdut una mica de temps, intenta avançar-se, lluita frec per aquest primer lloc. Doncs s'ha arribat en paral·lel, de tota manera es classificaran tots dos, es classifiquen primer i segon, i Jackson Merritt i Son Min-hong que han arribat, doncs com dèiem, frec a frec. nascut al descens del moment més disputat entre Canoe i Canoe, tots dos s'han classificat. Ara per pantalla podem veure la repetició. Doncs de moment tindrem, en aquesta quarta doncs tindrem a Antoine de Portugal, Alexis Pérez de Venezuela i Andrés Echevarría de Xile. Per tant, la presència portugal i també sud-americana en aquesta quarta mànega. I a la dreta hauria de tenir que surt a l'última mànega, la vuitena. We are going to have the first hit, which will be between Pete Brindis, Steve from Greece, Samuel Hernandez, and the finals, and qualified for the second hit of the quarterfinals, Jackson Merritt and Son Min-hong. The next ones will be between Antoine Lonet, Alexis Pérez, and Andrés Echevarría. Al 154 Antoine Lonet va de vermell, al 163 Alexis Pérez de Venezuela va de verd i al 170 Andrés Echevarría de Xile va de blau. Atenció perquè no el senyor estan a punt de sortir. Recordem, Antoine de Portugal de vermell, Alexis Pérez de verd per Venezuela i Andrés Echevarría per Xile de blau. Pren l'avantatge de moment Antoine Lonet, però la lluita és trec a trec, molt a prop, entre de fet els tres. Atenció perquè es deia bé, xoquen contra la roca en aquesta primera porta. Arriben al gir a la porta vermella, costat a costat. Doncs de moment avantatge per al portuguès Antoine Lonet. Agafant posició i ja el tenim aquí, de fet ja el tenim a la quarta porta. El seguit de prop Alexis Pérez, que sembla que seran els dos països que passaran a la següent ronda. Ha quedat més endarrerit Andrés Echevarría. Pues ahora sí, llegando a meta, Antoine Lonet de Portugal y Alexis Pérez de Venezuela, clasificados para la siguiente ronda. Andrés Echevarría i com dèiem Lonet i Pérez de Portugal i Venezuela classificats per la següent ronda. Okay, so the next hit, the second hit of the quarterfinals will be between Merritt, Son Min-hong, Lonet and Alexis Pérez. Now it's the fifth hit of the eighth finals between Ondrej Tunka from the Czech Republic in red, Matis Sudur from Morocco in green, and Martin Kalchin from Slovakia in blue.
Didn't bother you before. Yeah.
Doncs recordem la següent ronda, estem ja a la cinquena ronda de vuitens de final, n'hi ha 8 de total. L'última tindrem a Canoe amb el Dios de Canoe, el Felip del Celler, i després tenim a la aquesta cinquena mànega Ondrej Tunka, de la República Txeca, anirà de vermell, Mati Subir del Marroc, anirà de verd, i Martin Halsing d'Eslovàquia de blau. Ja ens veiem aquí, a la zona de sortida. Now on the screen, Ondrej Tunka in red for the Czech Republic. Mati Subir next. No, now it's Martin Halsing from Slovakia in blue. And as we can see, Mati Subir from Morocco in green. Ja han sortit, tenim el Ondrej Tunka de vermell, Mati Subir de verd i Martin Halsing de blau per la República Txeca, Marroc i Eslovàquia. De moment pren avantatge Ondrej Tunka, doncs sembla que es confirmen els millors temps d'aquest joc. Déu-n'hi-do, a la porta vermella ha de remuntar encara Martin Halsing d'Eslovàquia, que ha tingut aquest xoc amb Ondrej Tunka, espectacle assegurat en aquesta nova modalitat. Doncs sí, ja ho tenim aquí, Ondrej Tunka, seguit de molt de prop, la punta serà pel segon lloc, Ondrej Tunka té pràcticament assegurat el primer lloc. Doncs sembla que arribarà en segona posició Martin Halsing d'Eslovàquia.
Green and blue,
Remunta
disqualified.
encara a la porta Mati Subir, que quedarà en la tercera posició. Atenció, perquè d'acord amb
Green is
aquesta
not
pantalla sembla que
disqualified.
Martin Halsing estaria desqualificat per haver-se saltat una porta. Ho haurem de confirmar. En aquest cas, qui passaria seria Mati Subir del Marroc, perquè sí que ha recuperat la porta. Ho confirmarem més endavant. Del que segur que està classificat és Ondrej Tunka. Estava veient la repetició, aquesta pugna que hi ha hagut entre amistós, evidentment, entre Mati Subir i Martin Halsing. Okay, so Ondrej Tunka is already qualified for the next week for the quarterfinals circuit. Now it's time for the 8 finals, 6 hits.
Bueno, pues vamos a empezar la ola desde este lado. ¿Os parece bien? Sí, me voy mejor aquí. Va a empezar el Sergio Fischer, así es tú.
Okay, so this is the next heat between Richard Paul from the United States in red, and now we can see Antonio Reynoso Diaz from Mexico in green. Now we can watch both paddlers. On our left, Richard Paul, on our right, Antonio Reynoso. Sortida de mateix, els dos balistes. Richard Paul, Antonio Reynoso, United States, Mexico. And we will average now for Richard Powell, number 156. Doncs han triat la mateixa porta per passar en aquesta barrella i això ha provocat aquest xoc. Ara ja van cap a la tercera i cap a l'esquimotatge. Agafa impulsada Richard Powell per intentar assegurar la victòria d'aquesta manera. Sembla que pot aconseguir, però s'apropa amb Reynoso. Encara no està res decidit. Ara sí, Richard Powell guanya. A molt poca distància arriba Reynoso. Tots dos classificats per la següent ronda. Okay, so Richard Powell and Antonio Reynoso both go to the quarterfinals. I ara sí, la següent ronda, setena ronda ja, en què tindrem a Joan Crespo, el palestre del Santiago Terrat Pirun. Ara tenim la repetició del descens igualat finalment entre Richard Powell i Antonio Reynoso. Tots dos passen a quart de final i una eliminatòria de dos. I també tenen assegurat el passi Joan Crespo i Taylor Smith, que encara s'enfrontaran en aquesta segona setena ronda de vuitens de final. D'aquí un minut veurem en pantalla. Ara sí, ja tenim aquí a Joan Crespo del Santiago Terrat Girón, un nou representant local al dorsal 157, i Taylor Smith, que va de verd amb el dorsal 160. Joan Crespo from Spain with number 157 in red, and Taylor Smith here in green from the United States with number 160. This is the 7th hit of the 8 finals. Recordem, Joan Crespo de vermell, Taylor Smith de verd, el veiem aquí en pantalla. Sorteja, intentant agafar la taxa Joan Crespo de bon començament. Doncs Déu-n'hi-do el xoc en aquesta porta vermella entre els dos pel·lícules que han triat la mateixa porta per passar.
That's good, he got ahead. Red disqualified.
Després de l'esquimotatge, arriba ja a la quarta porta i ja està a punt de completar el recorregut dels homes intentant retallar distàncies. En aquests últims metres, finalment l'arribada serà exitosa. Okay, so first Tyler Smith, second John Crespo, both of them pass to the quarterfinals. Tyler Smith primero en esta ronda, segundo John Crespo. I John Crespo que apareix com a desqualificat en aquesta informació que ens està apareixent. Recordem que aquí també hi ha les qualificacions per les quartes portes. En tot cas haurem de confirmar més endavant. Equips que avui han estat classificats estrella de l'esquí.
Can you go and find Michelle and ask her to go and work with Cedric and the graphic? And what we want is the graphic on and then the athletes coming in. So the graphic on before the finish and then first, second, third coming in like that. Show Michelle knows. Ask her and ask her to go and work in the team. Yeah, and work in the truck with Cedric and the graphics.
Veiem aquest primer pla d'aquestes noves portes a les quals ens haurem d'anar acostumant en aquesta modalitat de Slalom cross. Aquestes portes de dues colors que són recurrentes i que marquen el recorregut dels participants. Última ronda, a punt de començar. Veiem aquí mateix Alberto i Canoe, caminant a vermell. En aquesta última màniga, Davert Martin Stanovski de Kazakhstan, Kazakhstan in green, and Liu Xihan from Taipei in blue. Aquí el tenim. Recordem, 152 Alberto i Canoe de vermell, Stanovski 165 de verd, i Liu Xihan de Taipei de blau. Ha començat ja. Doncs hem de tocar el comentatge, arriba ja l'esquimotatge, Alberto i Canoe. Doncs ja arriba aquí, molt ràpid a la porta 4, a la part d'avantatge sobre Liu Xihan de Taipei, i de fet que està a la porta 5, a punt d'arribar. Arriba tranquil·lament, espera que els seus companys de competició.
Red,
I ara sí.
green, blue.
El contestat per a la segona posició, Alberto Díaz Canero classificat segon, i el segon que és
Green disqualified.
per al Liu Xihan de Taipei.
Red, green, blue.
Okay, so we'll have for the quarterfinals. On the first gate, British, Rebecca Fernanda Morales. Second gate, Mary, coming from Romania and Venice. Third gate between Andre Tunca, Paolo, and Antonio Reynoso. That's the point still to decide with a rope. And the last gate between
The body
Taylor
goes through you.
Alberto Canoe,
Yeah, it's not the boat.
and Lucia
It'll be
Hahn.
the chest.
Yeah.
How many that
Y acá escuchás también mirando la competición, los viendo los dos pros.
now down like that. Yeah.
Okay, now we have official confirmation of the hits. This British is Fernanda Morales in the next grid.
Hello?
So, hello and good afternoon, that's better. Coming to you live from La Cédégale. It is the slalom course that's been slightly adapted for a little bit of fun and games this afternoon, and we are talking slalom cross. It uses white water and it goes around gates. There's an Eskimo turn, there's quarterfinals, semi-finals, finals, which we're going to be covering today. We started off an hour and a half ago with the speed test. So each of the athletes went down individually. They were then seeded and put into different courses. I know a little bit about it, but luckily I have a couple of guests who are all going to also going to discover this at the same time as us. From New Zealand, Finn Butcher, Ben Gibb, good afternoon to you.
G'day, Kate, are you here? How's it going?
Good. So let's take it off. It looks like we're going for the first quarterfinal of the women. And they're going to be 4 of them going down in a row. They have 6 gates to go around. The first time we'll see it, we'll discover it on live with you. This starting ramp is about 50 centimeters high. There's two in here, 50 centimeters high. And it's just before the official start line, if you know the course. So the Czech Republic against Australia, looks like.
And I think this is a pretty important part of the race. Get off to a good start, and as you can see here, to get to the right-hand side of the river, I think having the right-hand side is a bit of a advantage. So, and we're allowed to push each other out of the way. So we see here that Georgia's fighting to get on the inside and get in front of Veronica, but having a bit of difficulty there.
Yeah, a bit stuck on that down gate on the
They
right
get
there.
Eskimo. It has to be a 360 turn in between the green banners on the top. It looks like it's going to be fairly close sailing, this actual race. So you go through the side of the green gate on a downward direction under the actual number, as you see.
Yeah, so left of 4, and then on the right hand side of 5. And it looks like after sort of those first 2 first upstream gate, it's relatively set for the positions after that.
But in motocross, anything can happen, so it's important to keep on pushing and trying to work hard to get to the front all the time that you can.
So there's heat number 1.
And some good sportsmanship there.
I think that's the crucial thing about it. We've tried it a few times before, had it in Augsburg last year, Ivrea last week off a big ramp, and it's especially Po next weekend, so it's going to be should be a lot of fun.
It's really cool to see the ICF bringing in a new aspect to slalom, and hopefully you can also get some of the non-slalom paddlers to race and get some of the sort of the creek boater guys into it and see if that expands it out.
So we say often the slalom boats are like the Formula One of the sport. What are these? Are these tractors?
Yeah, sort of. It's
No, I wouldn't say that. It's more like, God, I don't know, like rally cars or something.
yeah,
Bumper
that's
cars.
a good example actually. They last a lot longer than the slalom boats, made out of plastic, a little bit heavier, but I suppose in the boatocross you expect to get a few hits from someone else. Or
Yeah, you can smash into whatever you want.
And there are a fair few athletes being disqualified. You're disqualified if you go the wrong way around. You're disqualified if you don't do a whole 360-degree turn.
And in the previous rounds we've seen one before with that 360-degree roll, and yeah, it's sort of, you can have an amazing run, but if you don't negotiate it properly, you're out of the race completely.
Well, the rules have been changing for last year, so they're trying to fine-tune the actual discipline. But it's a good time to test. It's a Saturday afternoon. This morning here on the same piece of water, there was the ICF World Cup going on, and that was very exciting. Some new winners, some old winners. And tomorrow morning you can join us on the ICF, on the Planet Canoe, on Facebook, on YouTube, however you like, and that's going to be tomorrow morning starting at 9:30 Central European Time. At the moment it is 5:20 Central European Time, and we're going to start off with the semi-final of the K1 women, then we're going to see the C2, and then we're going to go on to the men. Adin Novak from Slovenia. And we saw her earlier today win a medal. It's the young fox. It's Naomi Fox. Can't stop smiling, can you?
No, it's cool to see Naomi pull through for a medal as well, especially with Jess in the family. And Ida's seem to take a good lead here, but Naomi can always come back. There's a few options down the course. Oh,
out of the way, please.
There you go.
that's some of that tactical sort of ramming to try and get in.
Naomi will look to push her out of the way here.
Yeah.
That's quite clever, isn't it? So you have to have both hands on the paddles at all times.
Oh, bit of courage.
They're laughing. You see them laughing as they're going down.
Enjoying themselves.
This is going to be a crucial moment. When do they go? Go 360.
I'm wondering as well if there's because the roll can be sort of anywhere between the two flags.
That's right.
If there's a tactic, whether you roll early or roll later, and if that's faster or slower, or if you're ahead, if it's better to make that roll earlier or to save it to the end and make sure that you're right in front.
Well, that was fairly plain sailing, wasn't it?
Yeah. Bit of battling in there, but no, it's she managed to hold on to get it back and pull through for the win.
And you beat Naomi in that heat.
It's really cool to see some of the nations as well that you wouldn't see in a creek boat race competing as well. Like Australia's not really so big in the other creek boat competitions around the world, so it's cool to see that happening.
It's just disappointing we don't have any New Zealand athletes in.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. Normally we're sort of one of the bigger nations, America, New Zealand. There's a couple of Spanish are really good, and but I think Mike Dawson will be next weekend, hopefully. If I'm not 100% sure if he's planning to, but he's sort of our main athlete with slalom and creek boating at the same time.
Well, normally in other sports you'd wrap your top athletes in cotton wool before the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
But I suspect it's not even worth mentioning that to Mike Dawson.
Nah.
I don't think you can hold them back.
No. I think if you enjoy it a lot, it's probably beneficial.
Yeah, whatever makes you happy.
No, but we've got quite a good series at home over summer. They have some head-to-head races, some sprint races. There's an endurance race that for 12 hours you try and do as many laps of the river as you can.
In a creek boat?
Yeah, in a creek boat. So
they... a team.
Yeah, I think it's good to go watch for a couple of hours, but it's...
a C1 or a K1 weighs at least 8 kilograms. How much do these weigh? Do you know? Just a bit more?
About probably 20 kgs, I think.
Oh, wow.
The average one, yeah. But I suppose you've got to have them multi-purpose for day trips and racing, and but I think you've got like some of the stuff these guys are doing on the creek boats. You've got to have a strong boat in case you hit a rock or something like that. You don't want to be up the creek without a boat, let alone a paddle.
So, USA, Sage Donnelly.
I think Sage is actually, well, don't get me wrong, but she might be junior world champion in the freestyle as well. So she's one of these people that have grown up with the river, and she spends all her time beside the river, and I think she'll be quite at home in a plastic boat.
Not scared.
But then we've got the Spanish on the home course as well, so it should be an interesting heat.
There's Julia there. So you're putting money on Sage as the one-two muscler out the way?
Or we'll see who gets the start.
It's all about it. It's my line, and don't mess with me.
Who have we got in front here? Oh, the left-hand line here. Oh.
You have to go back.
Yeah. He doesn't have me on. I'm repeating the disqualifies, but I'm not on.
So we have a disqualification there for the skate, or?
Yeah, it looks like.
Yeah.
You have to go the right way around.
Yeah.
So can you not
disqualified?
Could you not go back up again?
I think you can go back up again, but it's sort of essentially your race is over. Especially there's a lot of water flowing through, and it's pretty hard to, especially in a creek boat, they're not designed like the slalom boats to go super fast. It's more about manoeuvrability and staying on top of the water, so they're a lot slower in a straight line, and it's important in the creek boat just to keep pushing. It's a lot more tiring in these boats.
Well, Sage Donnelly is going to, as long as she finishes and doesn't capsize or gets disqualified, she's going to go and win this one.
It was interesting to see that left-hand line being used, though. If that's a tactic, maybe that could be used if you can execute it and get back to sort of push someone out of the way. But we'll just have to wait and see if someone can pull it out in the upper rounds.
I'd say the preferred option if you were the fastest qualifier to choose a position on the start ramp on the right-hand side.
Well, that's what they're talking about. The boys were talking to you before. They said you can choose whatever you like, but you're going to win if you go on the right.
Yeah, so if you can get on that, if you're on the left, then if you can get that left line and manage to push someone out of the way, then it might, could be an option to choose.
Next to go, we have someone who's, I think she won, was it in Po last year, was Martina Wegman from
yeah,
Holland.
I think she did.
She knows you guys quite well, I imagine.
Yeah. Spent quite a bit of time with her, spending with Mike Dawson, so yeah.
Makes New Zealand home for the summer, and also competes in a lot of those the creek boat series that I was talking about before, and she normally seems to do pretty well in those, giving the Kiwi girls a bit of a run for their money.
Well, last year in Po, she was a late entry, and most of the officials didn't spot who she was.
Yeah.
But luckily, because she's quite unique, we saw who she was. She's going up against Cécile Tixier from France. So if you just tuned in, we're coming to you live from Le Sodel. We're looking at, has lots of different names, but we're now calling it Slalom Cross. That's its official name, Slalom Cross. And we are commenting for you for some latest heats. Then we're going to go to the final sessions and see who's going to come out top dog today. I'm Matthew Layton, I'm with Finn Butcher, and I'm with Ben Gibb, both from New Zealand, who've joined us today. They've been on the water earlier. So how's your weekend been?
Yeah, it was pretty fun. Racing didn't go hugely to plan, but I mean, still pretty young on the circuit, and then we'll see what happens next week in Po. But yeah, just a touch pushed out of the semi-final, and Yeah, but we definitely enjoyed the weekend. I
Well,
quite like Sao, so.
There's just as well, there's Cecile, who lives not too far from Po, and she's used to good water. Based in the, I think last 3 years, she's been off and on in the C1 French women's team. And Martina Wegman just recently, a couple of years ago, decided to give slalom a go, didn't she?
Yeah, yeah.
With
So
some good success.
Yeah, got the slalom specialist against the sort of creek boat specialist, so it'll be interesting to see how this heat goes, I reckon.
See Martina's on the preferred right hand side there, so see if she can hold on to it.
And we're off. Just always a bit of a battle here.
Just on the wrong side of the rock. It's going to be difficult to come back for Cecile Texier.
It almost looked like there was a bit of a plan to stay a bit slower and manage to nudge her out to the left-hand side of the rock.
You'd think so, wouldn't you?
But
And they're all going around the same way on the upstream. I think you have a choice though.
Yeah, they can go to the left or the right, but I think there's a shorter line, especially in those plastic boats, to grunt it back over to the other side. I think it's a lot of work. So,
And you can go straight over the rock if you exit out of that right hand one.
it's really interesting in that first upstream as well, because the first person can come into the up, but then if you're in second or a place below that, you can sort of nudge them out of the way and come on the inside and sneak into the lead from there. But it looks like the results are decided here.
We might see the other side come into play a bit more when there's four boats coming down.
Exactly, I think that's going to be more interesting.
Yeah. So I've got the Martina holding her creek boat
Crown.
So far from the 4 heats, we've seen Veronika Rotova from Czech Republic winning the first one against Georgia Rankin from Australia. Then we have Ida Novak from Slovenia outgunning Naomi Fox. Then we have Sage Donnelly for USA outgunning Julia Cucci from Spain. Martina Wegman, as you've just seen, has beaten Cecile Texier. I believe they're all qualified, however. It's just a case of seeding where they have a choice of where they're going to go. But we've seen in this that so far, when it's 1 against 1, the decision to take the right-hand lane, which as you look at it is the left-hand lane, but you always talk going down the water, don't you?
Yes.
River right.
Exactly.
Especially for the men today, after if you've raced the semi and the final, it would be pretty tiring as well. So I think trying to maintain your energy for the day as well, trying to keep it going so you can race a good final if you make it to that round.
But most of you athletes look certainly incredibly fit. I presume you are.
Yeah.
Oh, hopefully. Yeah.
Did you do much training over? I suppose since the age of 5 years old, you've been Eskimo turning, so I guess it's fairly natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. We try not to do it too much, but
You can when it necessitates.
yeah, it's almost like riding a bike. Eh? Like if you
never
roll,
forget.
you know what to do.
So it looks like we're going to be moving forward to the next event,
Oh,
which is
we've
going
got
to be.
dancing to warm up.
Then we're going to again see the starter list of the. If it's going to plan, it's going to be the quarterfinal start list, but we have to see how it plans out. So bandaging on the right shoulder there, is that to protect something? Is that a shoulder that's come out at some point?
Potentially. Yeah, I'm
Maybe.
not sure, but
Just to hold the shoulder in place, might have had a prior injury and just prevents it from getting any worse. Slalom's pretty hard on the shoulders, trying to do the barradas and the turns all the time. Puts a lot of stress on it, so you've got to do whatever you can. It's a big sort of part of the sport is making sure you're healthy and fit, trying to prevent anything that can stop you from racing and having fun on the river.
I think the word fun is key to this, isn't it? Because you're all amateur professionals, or professional amateurs.
yeah. So that's pretty much why we do the sport, because we love it. So.
But there's been quite a good crowd here today. There's a lot of kids around. Obviously, a lot of the athletes have their little troopers following along.
Yeah, it's a really cool, like, family environment here. You always see there's always a big group of like families down here watching the racing, and it's really nice and like park to just sit and relax. It's probably one of the less stressful races because you can always relax in the park. It's not in a big city with the hustle and bustle, and it's always a good time training and racing in Liceo.
That's the impression you have, don't you? It's very much on the side of the town.
Yeah.
So most of the athletes are staying within 5 minutes walking.
You can always go for a coffee in town with people because everyone's staying super close together, and always it's sort of a good community that when there's a race here. Yeah.
Is it going to rain or not? It's been talking about raining for the last 2 days. If you look at the forecast a few days ago, it's going to rain. We had a bit of a shower last night, but so far it's stayed off.
Had a little bit of a spit before, but it's all right at the moment. It doesn't really matter if you're racing, to be honest. You're already...
Yeah, you guys never complain about the rain.
Nah. Yeah. Maybe prevents you from drying your kit, but I think that's the worst, so can't really complain about it too much. As long as you're on the river, it's good.
So slalom cross, eventually we're going to have 4 athletes going down in a row coming off a slope, and let's hope we're going to see some excitement, some action. Yeah. So far we haven't seen that much drama, have we? You can call it what you like, but it's been fairly close, and if you go through the first gate in the lead, you're pretty much going to win.
I think we've seen a lot of 2-person heats as well, so I think once you add another 2 people into the mix, it should be a bit more eventful. See a little bit of carnage, maybe people pushing out of the way, and yeah.
Here we go, kayak cross men quarterfinals.
Yeah, last weekend in Ivrea we had a big drop off a bridge to start, and that had a bit of drama, added it to the start of the race. So
well, let's go on to heat number 1. Vit Prindis, Mark Morag, Samuel Hernandez and Panagatis Zizekas from Greece. I said Vit Prindis, who won today. Samuel Hernandez has a reputation of being an absolute flyer. It looks like it's going to be a fun heat.
Yeah, Vit did really well last week, and I think he came 2nd place.
Behind
Vavro.
Yeah. So see if we can keep this Czech storm going.
Well, these are all the other athletes who are going down. Onde Tunga had a good day today in his slalom. Ran Crespo knows about this. Tyler Smith, just 17 years old, did a great job in the commentary this morning. Up and coming C1 and K1 athlete. Good to see Chinese Taipei. There's quite a few from Spain.
There's a lot of nations here as well that you don't normally see in the top end of the slalom, so it's cool to see some more representation in the higher end of the competition here.
While they're waiting for the competition to begin. Oops, I'm on telly. No, yes, more. Well, there's Vit Prindis. He's been at the top of his game for the last few years. I mentioned he won here at, let's say, the K1 men. Mark Morag, probably a few fans are going to be cheering on.
Yeah,
the local
home course support.
Won a couple of years ago here, Samuel Hernandez, playing the
hero.
game. But he's in an unfavoured lane, maybe.
Yeah, potentially. It looks as though the red bib is the highest seed, and then it goes, what was that, green, blue, and then yellow.
Panagotis Zikeskas from Greece. A good spread out here. Who's your money on?
I got Vit.
I'm going to go with home course upset over Vit.
Yeah, you got Sammy.
Sammy, yeah. It's all on that sprint to the start.
I think so. Well, who's first to show? It looks like Samuel Hernandez in the red boat and Vit Prindis in the green boat, and the two really going for it.
Yep.
Who's going to be knocked out of the way? Samuel Hernandez is saying, it's my water, it's my city, move out of the way.
Bit more drama with 2 extra boats in there.
So Hernandez in red, Prindis in green.
Vit's going left.
But in Boatacross, anything can happen. So
well, they're both in
there
it.
you
Ooh.
go.
Hustle and bustle.
So we have the two boats, as you can see in your screen. Hernans for Spain, Vip Prindis from Czech Republic. Both in and up quickly. Oh, that's good acceleration from Vip Prindis in the green.
Green disqualified.
Green has been disqualified.
Oh, it's a bit of an upset there.
That's the green bib.
Oh,
Is it?
looking at the boat. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, Prindis thinks it's him.
Oh, yeah, maybe it is.
Need to clear that up. As you correctly say, it's the bib covers that have all the meaning. The boat colours are pretty but have no meaning whatsoever.
Not used to. There's not so many vibrant coloured boats in the slalom circuit, so I got a bit confused there.
But Vip Prindis suddenly slowed up. I guess he knew he was going to. It's the first two that qualified for the semi-finals.
Yeah,
So maybe he didn't want to, I don't know, hurt himself or
fight it out.
So going through Samuel Hernans and Vip Prindis to fight again.
Could be all important with that top seed though.
Yeah,
He has to choose where he's going to go.
Celebrating that win.
Well, that's a lot more fun, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a bit more eventful than having two people, but the start ramp's a bit of a contrast to some of the other courses as well. There's in some of the, like Augsburg, there's a bit more of a drop, so that can also play as a factor to your start. So if you get a bad landing, then that can also upset your start, your sprint.
Correction,
Yeah.
blue is disqualified, not green. Blue is disqualified.
Well, we have a correction. We have blue is disqualified and not green. So that means Samuel Hernans from Spain is out, which is a huge shock.
Yeah.
So Vip Prindis and Marc Moragues.
Still got a Spanish boy in the mix though to get the home country through to the medals, hopefully.
Was he? Well, we'll have to guess, I guess, why he's disqualified.
I couldn't really see anything through there.
I suppose he must have gone the wrong side of the gate, but I didn't see which one it was.
Okay, that's rules are rules. So heat number 2 is going to be Antoine Launay, who's now representing Portugal, Jackson Merritt from Australia, Min Kyung Song from Korea, and Alexis Perez from Venezuela. There's Antoine Launay, French for Portugal.
Quite a few of these guys in the heats have been out to New Zealand, so maybe that's inspired their charge.
Well, Jackson does look like he's been born in a creek boat, doesn't he?
Yeah, got the creek boat here. And then the Korean boys are out for the summer as well, doing some training before the Asian Championships for the Olympic selection. So, and I know they were definitely doing a bit of creeking too, which was good to see. Yeah.
Alexis Perez there. Well, they're all up for it, aren't they? It's exactly what you want. Big smiles.
They're having fun even before they've started.
But huge determination at the same time. They all want to win. Having your camera on your head when you have to do an Eskimo in shallow water is quite brave.
Yeah.
So look at the bibs.
Ooh, bit of a tussle in the middle there.
Anton got a nice start.
Launay, bib number red is colour red, is leading the ball at the moment for Portugal.
Ooh, bit of rock
Jackson
action
Merritt
there.
was decided to go the shortcut. And so far, everyone who's taken the right-hand side going up has won the race. Oops, that could slow them down a bit.
Ooh.
You have to actually do your Eskimo turn in the right place.
There's no.
Well, they put each other out, but it is the second boat that's going to continue.
But I think the Korean boy didn't go through the gate.
Yeah, I think Jackson's actually in provisional. Oh no,
No. Oh,
it's
Well,
Alexis.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Blue disqualified.
Blue has been disqualified.
yeah. So Jackson was in second off the start, and now he's sort of trailing the pack. This shows that anything can happen.
Here we go.
in the race. Oh, here we. Oh,
Fight to the finish.
Blue's
Just
disqualified,
got the
remember?
Jackson's gone.
yeah.
Look at that.
So to see another day is Launay and Merritt.
So Merritt was trailing at the end until the last gate, and then Alex mistake, got stuck in the eddy, and then the Aussie swooped in.
He's pretty stoked with his heat win. Who have we got in the next heat?
We have Andre Tunker, Richard Powell, Antonio Reynoso Diaz, and Matthew Sudi.
So Richard did really well last weekend, picking up third place, didn't he?
What's the best technique coming off the boards? Is it arch your back or just bend your back?
Try not to go down into the water too much.
Sort of leaning back and pulling up with your knees inside the boat, I think, can try and keep the boat nice and dry. But I think as well, like watching out for where people are launching their attack from, so you can get some strokes in. I know definitely done a little bit of rafting, and you've got to keep looking. If you're up against someone, you've got to find somewhere to put your paddle in to get the stroke, or else it's a bit of a carbon sword fight.
That's a good way to describe it.
Then you don't want to be breaking paddles because they end up costing you a lot of money. Pretty stoked.
Well, he goes to fight another day. So far, who's going to the quarterfinals halfway through? We do have Vip Rindis and Marc Moraguez from Spain, as well as Antoine Launay and Jackson Merritt halfway through.
Who have you got money on for this one, Finn?
Andre Tunker looks pretty relaxed.
Yeah.
I reckon Ricky.
Yeah,
Richard Powell in the green.
There you go.
Good weekend last weekend. Have a bit of confidence heading into the heat.
The USA is pretty good in the plastic boat.
Antonio Reynoso Diaz from Mexico. And from Morocco, Matthew Sudi. We really are having a good selection of nations here.
Yeah, it's good to see.
The boats, are they drawn out of a hat? Or you just pick up whichever one's free?
I think there's a fleet that you can choose, but then if you've got your own one, you can use that as well. But it's pretty hard to lug a boat around
Well,
Europe.
who's going off first? It looks in the right-hand lane. The red boat, as per normal. Andre Tunker from the Czech Republic has taken it out.
He's chosen that right-hand line again, and he's getting good speed down the right-hand side of the river.
Quite often athletes will take that left lane, and there's not much fight for it.
Speeding it.
It's a bit more of a relaxed start. If you hit the left, you got to work a bit harder, but you don't have that interference from the people charging from behind.
Well, drama early on there. Looks like Richard Powell's going to take it away.
It's pretty smooth and looks pretty calm through there. So, and then there's a big gap from second to third. So I think we've got our next round pretty well decided here.
Richard Powell and Andre Tunker, USA, Czech Republic. So far, 2 athletes from the Czech Republic. One from Spain, one from Portugal, one from Australia, and the USA. Next to go, heat number 4, so 16 athletes made it through to the quarterfinals, and 16. Heat number 4, Alberto Diaz-Canedo from Spain, Juan Crespo from Spain, Tyler Smith from USA, and Jinhan Liu from Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, it's cool to see Taipei in the mix there. And then we've got a half foreign, half home country heat here.
There's always a little explanation of how each one miraculously managed to get to the end, isn't there?
When they finish, yeah.
It's always good to share the adventure on the way down with the guys that you're fighting it out with.
I wonder if you can see where the lead changes, because it's very much a case of Tunker from Powell.
I think it was in that first upstream gate. He had a bit of interference there. There's a bit of hustle and bustle in the going into the eddy.
Tunker went right, and then Powell went left and had no one fighting for him.
Go.
So got out of there
locked
easy.
in.
almost pulled it off as well, but just couldn't. The gate sort of bounced around the wrong side of his head, so having to go back to avoid that disqualification. We haven't really seen much of a change in the rolling though, have we? It's sort of everyone's opting for that eddy there. I'm wondering if it's worth to, because this is between the two flags, the rolling.
That's right. Well, you see the banners, the green banners at the top.
Yeah.
So you have about 20 metres to do it, but they seem most of them to go in the same place.
Yeah. But then I suppose it's pretty shallow through the next rapid.
Starting to, yes, it is raining quite nicely outside now.
Yeah, light drizzle.
We're in a white tent, so hopefully we should be okay as long as the lightning doesn't strike. Well, Alberto Diaz-Canedo from Spain in the red bib, looking quietly confident. Ryan Crespo, colleague, also saw him in the semi-finals earlier today. Looking a bit nervous there.
Yeah.
Tyler Smith, just 17 years old.
Maybe he's a bit cold in the skins.
That's better. Someone said, look up. Chihaliu
Focused.
Sort of got the two Spanish in the good lane, so it'd be interesting to see if the foreigners can pull off a charge from the less favourable lane and make an upset here.
Well, you must know how it works by now. The idea is to negotiate yourself across to the right as quick as possible.
Yeah.
That pretty much is the game.
Maybe if that's barging, so we'll check this out now. Oh, Tyler's gone for that.
Well, I spoke to Tyler before. He's the one who said you can start where you like, but you need to go right.
Yeah.
He's certainly gone right. It looks like he's put himself in the second position. So we have red leading at the moment, but yellow's done well, going around the long way.
Oh, on the rock.
Well, this could be the first time we have someone tight. No, they've sabotaged each other, it looks like.
Oh.
So no doubt about who's leading. It's Alberto Diaz-Canedo.
Tyler's charging through, but I think there's been a...
Green disqualified.
Well, green's been disqualified.
Sometimes if you...
Red and green disqualified.
And red's been disqualified.
Oh.
So all that has to happen is yellow and blue, you just have to keep cool, go down the course, and it's yours.
That's both the local boys too.
Oh. Foreign charge here.
Well, you didn't even have to charge, boys.
Nah, just relax and make it down.
So colleagues on the side letting you know that no head, no neck, you're not going to win. Well, Tyler Smith goes through in first, and we have Chinese Taipei going through as well.
Yeah. It's good to see the younger boys giving the older boys a bit of a charge, and hopefully we can see them give a good run for their money in the later rounds of the competition.
Well, two go through from the United States. Czech Republic have two. Portugal, Australia, and Spain.
It's almost even of Europeans and sort of
other ones,
yeah. Because it's quite a European-dominated sport in the slalom, so it's good to see it mixed up a bit with sort of
maybe with your new white water centre.
Yeah.
So how's that going along?
It opened up in April, and we had a training camp there before.
What's it called? Where is it?
It's called Wero, Wero Whitewater Centre. It's in our main city of Auckland, and it's really well. It's like 10 minutes from the airport, 20 minutes from the city centre, and no, it's really cool. It's got two channels, one Olympic standard one, and one smaller one for getting kids into the sport and sort of doing a lot of water safety and rescue stuff. So no, I think it'd be really good for the New Zealand people, and it's good city with lots of population, so it'll be used well. And now it's really exciting to have a Olympic standard course in New Zealand, so we can spend a little bit more time at home rather than living out of a suitcase for the summer. But I'm not really complaining. It's a good way to spend your time, so yeah.
Good stuff. Well, let's see why the two were disqualified. So red had to go out. Be nice if we had, I suppose you can't ask too much, but if we had the reason they were disqualified, that'd be add a bit of value.
But I guess the rules are in place and they're being applied correctly, so yeah.
I can only see it might have been that first upstream just not quite getting all the way around it. I know Johan Crespo and the green bib came flying into their uplift.
And it's cool to see those boys, even if you're disqualified, congratulating the people going through to the next round.
So there we are, a resume of what happened a few minutes ago. From the second one, so there we have 4 countries already: Vip Prindis, Mark Moraguez, Antoine Loney and Jackson Merritt. It's good to see 4 countries so far. Yeah. And then we keep them on. We go USA, Czech Republic, USA again, Chinese Taipei, Richard Powell, Andre Tanker, Tyler Smith and Chin Han Liu. And some of the biggest names are probably going to go and have a shower.
Yeah.
Or they're walking to the shower, they'll have another shower, 'cause it's raining actually quite hard now.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, and that's the thing with motocross. You can be at the top of the list, but sort of anything can happen. You'll be on the flyer, and then all of a sudden something can happen. Maybe you just hit the buoy and it goes the wrong side of your head, or someone can always alter it. There's a lot of variables in it. It's a lot like the normal slalom that we do.
It's also quite fun to have some contact, isn't it? Because obviously in the slalom, apart from the team events which you've had before, it's now a case of it's each one for his own.
Yeah, and in the slalom you sort of have a preset plan that won't change too much, but in this sort of you can have someone ram you, or the water doesn't go your way. It's not just you that you have to worry about, it's the other people in the water at the same time. I think it's really important as well to adapt what happens, trying to come up with a plan B once something doesn't go right. Especially in that first section where everyone's trying to scrap it to the front and go straight up the guts.
So in a classical slalom race, as far as I can see, the most talented 10% will probably most of the time reach the final. It's not necessarily the case here, is it?
Not necessarily, no. There's a lot of things that can happen, and
I think the
as you saw in this one,
you saw Blue there, Tyler
fighting at the
Smith.
start.
He's saying, I'm going to get the right.
Trying to knock him off the first position, show him that I'm young, but I've still got a chance to win this.
Semi-final time for the women, so down to the last 8, and I guess we'll be seeing them coming up in front of you. But we have some local battles, in the sense that Naomi Fox and Georgia Rankin are going to be going head-to-head against Ida Novak and Veronika Votova. So Czech Republic, Slovenia, Australia. And we'll actually ask Georgia Rankin how she feels, because she's joining me in the commentary tomorrow morning for the K1 Women semi-finals. And here we go, confirming what I just said. And in the bottom, the second heat is Martina Wegman from the Holland, Netherlands, Sage Donnelly, USA, Julia Gucci and Cecilia Tixier from Spain and France.
See if the Aussie girls team up against the other two, or just every girl for themselves.
Yeah.
Well, we saw that with the Spanish, and they both were knocked out, weren't they? But not linked to anything.
Keep the spirit of Australia going, and see if you can both get through rather than just fighting for yourself. But we'll see what happens in this heat.
See if Oceania can triumph.
Yeah.
So you're supporting, you say it's great to come over Europe, but once we look at who's against who, you're supporting Oceania.
Yeah, it's good to keep it in the same region.
We spend quite a lot of time hanging out with them, so good friends, and
Spent a lot of time in Sydney over the summer before where I was built. We didn't really have access to. We have some good courses at home, but nothing Olympic standards. So it's always good to head over there and do some racing, and you always make some friends along the way. So it's always good to cheer them on.
Well, friends are so important. We did an interview yesterday with the 2 Olympic champions from 1992 here. So that's when the Olympics were run. And I don't think they spend much time together, but they're like best friends. That was Sylvain Canoe, who took the silver medal, and that was Pier Paolo Ferrazzi.
Yeah.
And it's amazing, they're reminiscing, it's 25 years ago, reminiscing about how it was yesterday. But here's the lineup. There's Adi Novak from Slovenia in the, it's good, that's just green bib, green bait.
colour coordinated.
Naomi Flood, the younger sister of, and she took a medal today, her first medal in the C1, I believe, a second start. And oh wow, that's the best start so far is Georgia Rankin.
We'll see if these...
Well, it looks like they're teaming out, doesn't it?
Yeah.
They certainly have the weaker lanes.
See if the Aussie girls send it to the right and push the Europeans straight into the wall. Oh, I think we're about to start.
So the board goes down, released. So Votova, Novak, Fox, Rankin, going from left to right in our picture. And they're off. It looks like in the red bib, it looks like Veronica has a good solid start, but Naomi Flood in the blue also, well, she's been having a good push by her colleague there, by teammates. So she's actually, it is Australia 1, Australia 2 as we speak, but it's going to be very tight.
Off the rocks here.
Great for Naomi Fox because the other three are having a little bad, but are they all going to pin her down? I think that's a tactic.
Well, she's waited just a little bit
and she's
got around cleanly.
So in the green, it's a bit of a problem. Well, what's happening there?
Aussie 1-2.
The Aussie
Waiting for each other. So it's almost like a team event here.
Yeah.
Aussie one goes through. Aussie 2 in the blue bib also goes through. So barring anything unexpected, it looks like they're going to have 2 Aussies in the final.
It's really hard to fit 4 boats down the sticky fingers drop as well. It's always pretty wild through there, even in a slalom boat. So just trying to get 4 boats side by side at once through the...
well, Georgia Rankin, Naomi Fox. So I think your theories on perhaps the Australians to stick together certainly worked out.
Yeah, and they're stoked with it.
I wonder if that was actually a plan or just
a conspiracy.
Just happened that way.
Well, there was certainly a couple of nudges going on before the fair. I don't think I'm not sure it was planned, but it certainly worked out the right way.
It was almost at the start when I think it was Ida was pushing Veronica. It just opened up the line for the 2 Aussie girls to come through to the start and take control of the heat. Yeah, so we've got this here.
Well, it looks like Veronica had the best start, but look at the Naomi Fox in blue top. She really has some good flat speed, doesn't she?
Yeah, I think that the tussle on the River Right as well sort of really opened up for, you can see they're getting some good strokes, whereas they're having that carbon sword fight on the right hand side of the river. Who have we got in the next heat?
Well, next is Martina Wegman, Sage Donnelly, Julia Cucci and Cecilia Tixier. So 4 different nations represented. Martina won. Sage, you said, is a world champion.
So it's two sort of creek boat freestyle paddlers against the slalom
classics,
specialists. Yeah. See if the creek boat girls can hold on to that the specialist classes, or whether the slalom girls can cause a bit of an upset. Yeah, everyone's ducking for cover now with the rain setting in.
Well, it's still quite warm, but it's about 20 degrees, but it's better to sit under than sit outside.
Yeah.
But no wind today, which is good news, so the poles have been fun. Here we go, there's Martina Wigman from the Netherlands. Having a good little chat to Sage Donnelly from the US of A. Julia Cucci from Spain, so she's going to have the local cheers, I guess, and Cécile Tixier from France. More determined, more focused, I think.
Yeah. Learned from the last run and ready to charge for the next round.
We'll see if that happens again with the 2 River Right lanes fighting, and then wonder if the 2 left ones can sneak in there again. See what happens. Maybe the River Right wasn't as good as we thought.
Depends on your tactics, doesn't it?
And we're off.
If you're prepared to give.
Oh,
that's green top. What are you doing? Sage Donnelly was letting Martina go through.
And half half to right, half to left.
No, that's Blue's going to be out of it, unfortunately.
Again, half on the right, half on the left. See how this pans out for the rest of the heat.
Right, need to go forward
A
ideally.
little bit of ducking.
Blue disqualified.
As I mentioned a couple minutes ago, Blue didn't manage to go around the right-hand side of the gate number 1, I believe, and so she's out of it.
And the girls in front have a bit of a commanding lead now.
So Martina Wegman is pulling away with Sage Donnelly in second.
Yeah, I think the heat's pretty much over now.
Well, it's been decided, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just to make sure you manage to go in and out in the right place.
But even that last Eddie's pretty strong, so I think that's could be like the champion killer. If there's a bit of a bustle and tussle down there.
So our finalists are going to be no Spanish, no French, no Czech. George Rankin from Australia, Naomi Fox from Australia, Martina Wegman from the Netherlands, and Sage Donnelly from USA.
Yeah, so there's the creek boat specialists pull through.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Little lean booth off the big drop. See, Martina's got her own creek boat here, not the boats that have been provided. It's sort of got her specialist boat here. Maybe that's a bit of a strategy too.
Well, we'll probably move on to the next event. Is going to be the men's. Well, yeah, there the actual shows you the results. So Georgia Rankin, Naomi Fox, Martina Wegman, Sage Donnelly live to fight another day. Ida Novak, Veronica Vachova, Cecilia Texia, and Julia Cucci. Unfortunately, that's the end of their competition.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll stay at the river and keep on watching on and cheer on the girls for the final. It's a pretty good final there though. Should be pretty good to watch.
Right, going to go now on to the top 8 men who remain in the competition, and that's the semi-finals.
Who's up in the first heat?
Well, Vip Renders, Antoine Launay, Jackson Merritt, and Mark Moraguez. So Czech Republic, Portugal, Australia, and Spain.
They're getting harder to pick now, aren't they?
Yeah.
I can't see who I think's going to win from that one. Got to go Aussie though, eh?
Yeah.
Jackson.
Keep it in the Commonwealth. But then Vit had a pretty good weekend last weekend. Be pretty confident heading into a pretty stacked semi-final.
And then the other semi-final is going to be Andre Tunker, Richard Powell, Tyler Smith, Chin Han Liu. So Czech, 2 from the United States, and Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, it'd be pretty interesting to see who makes it through to the final.
Rain looks like it's in for a while, I think.
Makes a change from the nice 30-degree days we've had during the training week. It's been really good.
It's almost like going back to Ivrea. It was raining almost all week. Thunderstorms.
Not sure what the forecast is going to be for Po, because most of the athletes either have moved on already or moving on tomorrow morning.
Yeah. But I think from New Zealand we can't really complain. It's winter at home, so I think to have the summer we're pretty lucky. Got the Aussie Storm there charging.
Georgia Rankin.
It's really interesting as well to see in the heats where you're allowed to hit the gates, because in slalom we're always trying to be really precise and go under the poles and not make the penalties, but in this you're allowed to smash the gate, and as long as you get your head into it.
So almost taking advantage of that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good diversion away from all the stress of having to be so exact in the fact that here you can have a laugh. It's still competitive.
Yeah. And you sort of almost accept the fact that you could win or lose. So it's out of your control a little bit. So I think everyone, it's sort of bit less stressful than where all the pressure is on yourself. You can anything can happen.
Whereas there's the speaker who has got such a great voice. He's been non-stop for the last 3 days.
Yeah, transfers a lot of energy into the crowd. You can hear when someone has a touch in the final, there's a big chant going up, and
So just announcing, I guess, the last 8 men going to be competing. You're not prepared to pick?
It's a hard one.
Might go with Vit. Some good results last weekend, so keep on with that.
It's hard to beat against, but maybe Anton Jackson. I don't know, I can't decide.
Got to choose one. And then we've got the young Spanish boy as well. See if he can take off some of the giants.
So this Olympic course it's a false looking real one, isn't it?
Yeah,
so it's built before '92. Is it a concrete base with some stones plugged in strategic places? It's designed by the same architect who designed the Liptovsky course.
Yeah, it's pretty similar to Liptovsky, I suppose. And look, really, like the grass is almost down to the bank, down to the water level. And instead of just plain concrete, there's actually rocks inset into the concrete, so it feels a little bit more natural. But I suppose it's definitely fully man-made.
And it hasn't changed dramatically since the '92 games. The trees have grown quite a lot bigger. There's been a couple of big rocks taken out.
It's really cool to sort of paddle in a natural setting. It's almost paddling at home a little bit, and you're paddling in the mountains. It's really beautiful, and it makes a change from paddling sort of in a concrete jungle or with the other artificial courses, and it's just got a little bit of a different feel to it.
So Vit Prindis in red, Lorne in green, Merritt in blue, and Moraguez in yellow.
Not sure who could win the second heat as well. I think I'm going to go with the younger boy, Tyler. Can top off some of the older boys and push through and show that age isn't a factor in the boat across.
There he is, Vit Prindis from the Czech Republic.
Gold medalist from today.
Yeah, it's really
K1
cool to see.
men.
Antoine Lorne representing Portugal in the green top. Jackson Merritt representing Australia in the blue top.
Ready to go.
There he is.
Shuck it.
We're going to show the yellow. Is he there?
Ooh. Maybe not.
Well, I can't see him.
Maybe he's not here yet.
Okay, something we don't know.
It looks like he's maybe just getting into his boat.
Mark Moraguez, where are you? No, just gone off. So anyways, it's 2 go through.
They've all got pretty clean water there. Not so much fighting when there's only 3 boats.
Oh, Jackson's snaked the
other way
second place.
through. Vit Prindis is leading the ball, and in blue, Jackson Merritt has decided to take his own course, isn't he?
Yeah. Oh, and he's just pipped Anton.
So it's Prindis from Merritt as we speak.
Yeah, I think it's
gonna be
anyone's
tight
game
from
here.
now.
Yeah.
He's going to decide to roll late. Is he going to work? Is he trying to block the
Vit's
others
gone
away?
right.
Maybe?
Over the rocks.
Well, Merritt's leading now from Vit Prindis.
This is probably one of the tightest heats we've seen so far. Oh, just using his paddle to get into that gate.
Well, Jackson Merritt. Well, you both called the right two.
Yeah.
Jackson Merritt, Vip Prindis live to fight another day, and we'll see them in a few minutes in the final for the Czech Republic and Australia.
That was an interesting one. There's a lot of fighting after those two upstreams, so that roll actually paid, you know, it was made it interesting because Veit was definitely in front, and then he did his roll and ended up quite far right over the rocks, slowed him down quite a lot.
I think as well at the start they had a lot more room to paddle, so everyone wasn't focusing on trying to bump each other out of the way. It was more about trying to get ahead, and maybe that shows with it in the slalom race today. It's the fastest off the starts and
well,
fastest down the
Jackson
course.
Merritt there, no attempt to go across, did he?
No,
Decided to go on the left.
He did, yeah, and he pulled off. That was probably the best we've seen the left line today, just cutting in front of Anton and getting an advantage off that the whole way down the run, taking off one person at a time, even though he had the worst lane out of the bunch. But all those boys are really good slalom paddlers, all in the semi-final and pushing pretty hard today, so I think it was always going to be pretty hard to be in the top two.
And when you saw Vip Prindis, he didn't seem to lose much momentum doing his Eskimo toe.
Nah, might have been practicing it maybe.
Probably the speed he went in and just kept aerodynamic and out. Very impressive.
I think his momentum carried him right a lot though, and then Jackson popped up and pushed him into those rocks.
So earlier today we saw some of the guys doing a horse.
Oh.
Tell me about that. We need to know. What does it mean? Because I heard it was from a New Zealand film or something.
Yeah.
So what is it? We need to know. Everyone's asking.
We had.
I'll tell you what. Tell me after this.
Yeah.
Ondrej Tunka is going in the green for the Czech Republic. Richard Powell, is in the. Are they both in green? Or am I going colourblind? And Tyler Smith is in the blue.
Bit more excited this time.
I think he's learned his lesson. And in the yellow, it's Chin Hanley.
I'd really like to see Taipei China take this one out.
Well, there's a possibility.
Yeah, knock off the bigger nations.
Sorry, Tunka's in the red.
He's in the green boat.
That's what I meant. I'm colourblind anyway, so it's a bit confusing for me.
Yeah. Those brighter boats confusing us.
Well, he's going to be first off. It looks like.
Oh, he's got a.
Ondrej
Everyone's
Tunka
scrapping out.
He's
and
going against his countryman.
Oh. Maybe that.
Very clever from Chinese Taipei.
Yeah, just
led his
snuck
own
in
race
there.
and just kept going down. So far it's Chinese Taipei leading from Czech Republic.
Oh, but we.
That's now. Tyler Smith has done a good
inside.
move there. He's playing American football.
On the inside and just took it away.
Snake them.
Well, that's one, I think we have a disqualification.
No. Up to the Eskimo part roll of the court.
Right. Well, it looks like we're going to. Where are we now? Is it going to be Ondrej Tunka leading down?
Bit of a command lead
that's
there.
Yellow disqualified.
Yellow is disqualified.
But can we see?
That might be close on Tyler there in that last gate.
Oh, I think he might have just been in, but we'll just have to wait to see what the judges say.
Well, they're giving it to Ondrej Tunka from Tyler Smith.
Yeah, knocking off last weekend's third place. So
Well, it's disappointing because Chin Hanley had the race to himself.
yeah, but it's sort of that boat across style. It's you haven't won it until
You're
you're over
never in the
finish
clear.
line.
Never in the clear.
Always on your toes.
Anyway, crazy horses.
Yeah.
So going through to the final in a few minutes' time is going to be Jackson Merritt, Vip Prindis, Ondrej Tunka and Tyler Smith. That's going to be a cracking final.
That'll be a good one.
So we had the there's Adam Burgess, Cam Smedley and Michael Taylor over in New Zealand training over the summer, so we showed them like a classic New Zealand movie, and they have like it's like a joke gang, and they have like the crazy horses sign, and we made a pact at the start of the season. If you have a good run or if you're in the final, you have to do the crazy horses sign.
So what's the movie?
It's
called Boy.
Yeah, it's about sort of a young Maori boy and how he grows up. It's really good actually. It's on the ones to watch.
Yeah, they loved it because it was just New Zealand humour and the accents that they bring out.
Okay.
It's pretty funny.
So there we know.
Yeah, so that's the story behind the Crazy Horses.
Thank you.
No, but it's good to see some of the guys training that were in New Zealand for the summer pulling off some pretty good results this weekend. Michael Taylor and Cam Swedley getting their Olympic quotas, and then Cam and Adam making the final as well. It's pretty cool to see.
Right, let's see what we have coming up next. Should be the women's final.
Who have we got in that one?
My screen, let me go back to the schedule and see where we are. The final, first of all we're going to see the small final. So there's confirmation of results from the semi-finals. Jackson Merritt, Vic Prindis, Andre Tunkert, Tyler Smith go on to the final. Antoine Launay, Mark Morges, Richard Powell, Shin Han Liu don't.
I wonder why there was a DNS. It's interesting.
Tired? No. Maybe.
Well, maybe we'll find out. So, 4 more races to go. We're going to start off by the small final, which is going to be Veronika Vojtova, Ida Novak, Julie Cucci, and Cecile Tixier.
It's still almost as good as the final, I'd say.
Well, there's pride at stake, isn't there?
Yeah.
The first boat down.
It's like a slalom final, like lots of slalom paddlers in the mix there.
There's Jackson Merritt coming down.
Powering to the punch.
He was desperately, not unlucky, but desperately close to qualify for Rio.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy watching it actually.
Nail biting.
As timing is good.
I was almost more stressful to watch the other guys' runs than to do mine. But it's pretty close between him and Lucien. It's good to see pushing each other to getting higher and higher results. So.
Andre Dunker there, who's had a good weekend's activity so far, made the final.
Yeah, a lot of Czechs in the final this weekend actually. It's,
Three of them.
I mean, taking it out as well, it's an added bonus.
And little Yuri Priskovic not even turning up.
Nah,
So it was already planned, I guess.
Yeah, I suppose just trying to get that best result from the Olympics. He's already won the Worlds and the Euros. I suppose he's pretty good at racing, so just trying to keep on pushing for get the best possible result for the race.
Just big training block in Prague, I suppose. Yeah. He would have been in Rio at the training camp just before the first World Cup, getting some time on that course. So
quite a few athletes flying out again in the next couple of weeks or so after Po.
Yeah.
So they see what we're talking about in a minute. On the bottom of your screen is going to be the small final, which I guess will go first, and then we have the champions final, which looks to be stacked with determined young ladies.
Yeah, should be 2 pretty good battles. I think the final and the small final should be just as good as each other, hopefully.
So the gates are made of, I guess, inflatable plastic.
Yeah,
Blown up.
almost like a buoy, so you don't get hurt if you hit them. And then we've got the upstream gate at the top. Most of them are downstream, and we've got the Eskimo roll sort of towards the middle of the course. And I think that's just as important as managing to negotiate the gates properly. If you can get a good Eskimo roll and be ready to go straight away, then you're going to definitely have some time in there.
But the only real place you've seen time and positions changing hand is certainly before the Eskimo roll, isn't it?
Yeah, that top section's proving to be a bit of a giant killer as well. Unless you have a pretty good strategy, or you can adapt to the strategy that you've put in place. It's pretty hard to come back from it.
So you need to spend all your energy at the beginning. You don't have to save it till the end, because once you roll, you're fine.
Pretty much, yeah. I think sometimes it's even better to be just slightly behind at the start, and you can, well, maybe not better, but you can definitely sneak in there and push everyone out of the way.
It's on the first up, isn't it? It's where like Tyler Smith we saw last time from the US of A, where he was definitely in third, and he knew exactly what he was doing. He just guided the others around. Here is Veronika Vojtova from the Czech Republic. In the red bib, Ida Novak from Slovenia in the green bib. Cécile Tixier from France in the yellow bib. Sorry, no, it's not Julia, it's Cécile. Okay. They put them the other way around in the graphics. And there is in the blue bib Julia Kuchik.
Be interesting to see if we have that, we have the right hand lane charging ahead again, or if there's a bit of a scrap in the back of the heat.
So tension mounting. The little final for the women in the slalom cross competition. Ready, go! And it's Veronika Vojtova in the red bib, who has, well, she's exactly the same in her semi-final. It didn't pay off in the end.
There's a bit of it was more on the river left that time, where there's a bit of bumping going on.
Well, so far river right's turning out. It's Veronika from Ida, and the others nowhere to be seen as they're charging into the left hand.
Yeah, clean exit for the right hand upstream there.
They just squeezes round as Ida Novak. But no doubt about who's flying in the front. It's Veronika Vojtova, who we saw. And then she'd go up nicely.
Nice schema roll there. The other girl's sort of...
Oh, she's struggling. Come up, you have to go quickly up. Yeah. Did she go through?
We'll have to see. There. Gaining in place. Hope maybe she can do it towards the finish. Take it inside.
So I'm not sure that Ida managed to come up from her schema roll before the line, but we'll have to see. Certainly it's... and that's close as well.
Oh, that's that strong Eddie I was talking about. Taking both the other girls down.
Well, Ida Novak has been disqualified, either for turning too late.
Green disqualified.
From turning too late on the Eskimo turn, because there's the banner overhead, or did she miss out the gate? Anyway, it's going to be Veronika Vojtova who's going to win the little final, so she comes technically in 5th place. And Cécile Tixier from France taking the 6th place, or 2nd in this final.
Big smiles after that race.
Well, they all survived to have to fight another day.
Yes.
So in Ivrea, it was a bit high, wasn't it, maybe, the start?
It was quite high. It was quite daunting, really, wasn't it? I was pretty happy I wasn't racing.
Yeah, but it was a lot different. It was more, I think it was more about your start there, and once you got off there, you were pretty set for the finish, but as well, it was more the water that you had to watch out rather than your actual competitors, because the water was a lot bigger there. And yeah, it was a lot more holes, a lot more stoppers to sort of push you offline, and those are more the contributing factor than getting bumped out of line by one of your competitors.
Well, there's Veronika. Let's have a look at this. When does she come up? Because she has to come up before the green. Oh, we're not going to see it. I think that might be where it went wrong. And also coming down this last downstream post, I'm not sure she actually went round it. What can we see on the corner of our screen?
Claiming the win.
There's Nue Villarubia, as you see in her picture, who won the C1 earlier. and we are going to the main event for the women. It's the A final. It's Martina Wegman from the Netherlands in the red, so in pole position. Next to her, Sage Donnelly from the USA.
Maybe talking tactics.
Amy Fox, well, doing whatever she does in the blue.
Call that a dance? Yeah.
Bit of warm up.
Yeah, she's dancing.
And again, same as last time, Georgia Rankin from Australia in the yellow.
Who have you guys got on your bet to win?
I never choose anyone.
Never choose anyone. I'm going to go with Martina, training in Prague together, so going to stick with the training group.
I reckon Noemi sneak in there.
Well, who's going to be the first off? It looks like Martina Wegman on the red top is first away, but Naomi Fox she's pushing her over. So no doubt about who's first through. It's Martina Wegman.
A lot of bumping.
Naomi Fox not sure she herself any favours there, but in the yellow it is Julie Cucci from... No, sorry, it's not. It's
Georgia.
That's right, Georgia Rankin.
Martina dealing with that bit of the pressure off the start line from the other competitor as well, and getting a commanding lead. Nice estimate roll. And
Well, it looks like we have a winner. She won in pole last year. Barring disasters, it's going to be an event here. We've got Tony Clates for second place so far. Oops, there's Naomi Flood coming on the left-hand side.
Blue is disqualified.
Blue is disqualified.
Oh, that's Noemi.
you bet
That's my
one
pick.
pin.
Well, the winner today is Martina Wegman from the Netherlands. So good day for New Zealand in a way.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's pretty much a Kiwi.
adopted Kiwi.
Oh, Naomi's having a bit of fun in the hole.
Making use of their run down the course.
Looks like the happiest person ever to be disqualified.
Yeah.
I think she's always pretty happy. Eh?
Still buzzing off the medal this afternoon in the C1 women.
There you go, Martina Wegman. So, does it show you have, if you have a dagger boat, if you have your own boat, it might help?
I think the other boats are still pretty good, but maybe it's more she's fitted it out for herself, or maybe just got put foam in properly so she's sitting nice and snug in it, and it's always hard sort of swapping boats to someone else's, but maybe that's one of the secrets, is once it gets more people start to do it, maybe bring your own boat over. There's a bit of a tactic that you can use to get that advantage over the other people.
Lots of paddling on boats at the top there.
Yeah. Yeah, she sort of fought it out at the start and just took control over the heat and made it her own.
It's almost like a teams race in there. She just went right to the top of the eddy, wait for the other girls to come in, and then...
I think that was a good tactic though, because you see earlier when you try and stay tight on the banner, people try and push you out of the way, so giving that little bit extra room when you know you've got the lead to avoid that probably helped a lot. And you see after that there's a bit of bumping going along.
Yeah. Again, a very effective, very efficient Eskimo roll.
It's always handy to have in canoeing.
Well, that's the women for you. First place, Martina Wegman. Second place, Georgia Rankin. Third place, Sage Donnelly. And I suppose you still give her fourth place or not? Naomi Fox.
Oh, I suppose she qualified for the
yeah, we'll
finals.
give her fourth place.
Should be really good in Poe actually, because it's a lot bigger water, so we'll see a lot more fighting and people fighting for the win going on. And it's sort of the same natural looking course as well.
Right, who's going to have up next? Logically, we should have the two men's final in the little final, the small final rather. It's going to be Antoine Launay, Richard Powell, Mark they put Mark Moriguez, so he's
Oh,
well.
Interesting.
Didn't see that. Obviously, if you're Spanish, you don't need to turn up. We'll have to see how that one works out.
having a
Chin had
siesta.
it might have been a technical reason. It might have been some reason why
potentially.
they said for the time let's send him off.
Yeah.
And then anyway, whatever.
We'll just have to wait and see if he's on the start line.
That's right. I suppose by definition, if you, as all 8 athletes from the semis, compete, we'll have to see. There's Veronica there, accepting her win in the small final. Hello.
Got some eager fans there as well. It's always nice to have a bit of local support for down at the river.
I think any noise helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. But then sometimes you're trying to block it out a little bit, but it's always good to have that energy at the river where people are excited to be there and makes going down the course a lot more fun.
Well, are we going to see some men's event coming up? There's Ballant, who's the ICF photographer, just sitting there next to on the left. Thousands of pictures every single week.
Yeah. Imagine there's a lot of runs, so you've got to keep
But he
up
loves it,
with
though, so
yeah.
does great photographs.
Yeah. Seems that there's that rain's taken a top. There's a lot more people down before, or maybe they're all undercover.
Well, here we go. At the bottom of your screen, it is the lineup for the small final: Portugal, USA, Spain, and Chinese Taipei.
I really want the Chinese Taipei boy to pull it off again. Just hold on to it to the finish.
Well, he was leading, wasn't he, convincingly, and then
Yeah.
in the semi-final, and something went wrong. I don't know what. But it is a really picturesque venue here, isn't it? Because you have the village side of the town, I guess, really close in.
It's almost like a central hub for the city where everyone goes to hang out and relax. It's good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to just like little walk up the stairs to the square in the middle of town with lots of different bars and shops, and yeah, it's pretty nice.
It's good to embrace the Spanish culture as well.
Eating dinner at 9:30.
It's hard when you're racing, but you gotta do it when you're in Spain.
As athletes, do you have a chance to have a siesta in the afternoon?
It sort of depends. World Cup week when you have training, if it's in the afternoon or the morning, but yeah, normally when you're training you have a little bit of time for a nap, depending if you have to work or not. So it's always good for recovery. So
As a lot of you as students, you're talking about student work.
yeah, studying, and like a lot of people work full time as well, I think. But it's always good to supplement as well as to training to keep your brain working during the day when you're not training.
Keep it ticking over from just thinking about canoeing all the time. I think a siesta is something that the New Zealand culture should embrace.
Starting with
Antoine
over
Lone for Portugal. Last minute disc tactics. Richard Powell in green.
looking very serious.
I think he's saying, get off me and move on to the next one. We're not sure that Mark Moragas is going to go in, so it's Chinese Taipei in yellow. And that's Chin Han Liu. So again, 3 in the small final. Lone, Pao, Chin Han Liu. Well, he's doing the same tactics as before. He's quite happy to stay way on the left. Chinese Taipei nearly worked last time.
Let the other two duel it out.
Avoid that
Sneak in.
conflict.
Coming around the left-hand side of the big rock.
We saw Jackson Merritt pull that off though, and he had a pretty good result off that, so maybe he's going for that.
We'll see if he's going to do this again in about 10 minutes time in the A final. Well, a bit of a surprise. Richard Powell was taken by surprise there, so it does mean that Antoine Launay had the first start in the red. And which way is Chinese Taipei? He's doing the same tactic as before. He's saying, you two please fight, and I'm going to go the other way. But so far, it is in red. Antoine Launay for the Portugal, who's leading it out from Richard Powell in green. Both going around separate ways. Are they going to knock each other out? It looks like they are. So it's now Antoine Launay who's taken against control. It's all about taking your own route, isn't it? Avoiding the others, and you're going to be okay.
Almost avoiding the conflict, but you have to have a good Eskimo roll as well to hold that win.
Well, Richard Powell dives into the Eskimo roll. Can he take it up? There's not many chances to come back. It looks like Launay is going to take it.
Oh, and the Chinese Taipei's got a bit of a slow roll there.
Yeah, no doubt about who's going to win it. It's all decided by going into lane.
Oh, he could have.
And Antoine Launay, barring anything
Yellow
we don't know about.
disqualified.
And yellow, unfortunately, was disqualified. Well, Antoine Launay comes in first in his small final.
But up next, what he runs, talking about the A final.
Well, it's the big hitters, isn't it? It's Vit Prindis, Andre Tunker, Jackson Merritt, and Tyler Smith. So 3 very, very seasoned professional, and 17 years and 2-month-old USA Tyler Smith. He seems like a good guy for the future. He likes the canoe, he likes the kayak. He obviously likes this.
Yeah, definitely one to watch. He's almost got that Fabien Lefebvre inspired kayak and C1.
Go for everything.
Yeah. I think it's good though. It's should be the future where everyone does like the kayak and the C1, and yeah, you can learn off each category, and it helps your paddling as a whole.
They're throwing themselves into the Eskimo turn.
That's interesting though. I thought it would be better to sort of tuck up and try and keep yourself quite aerodynamic. But
well, I think that some of the freestylers, they don't even need to touch the water, do they?
No.
They just flip over.
Yeah. He's
Claiming
pretty
it.
stoked with that.
So, Finn and Ben, does it inspire you to try and have a go at this?
Yeah, I'd
Or
say a
thinking,
little
no,
bit more
thanks.
now.
Yeah.
At the start I was like, oh, I'll just focus on the slalom, but maybe it's after racing anyway, so it looks pretty interesting to do.
Yeah,
Yes.
maybe in Po you'll see us in there, but
Just got to
see.
be
Right.
the top 2.
Vit Prindis.
We need some more Oceania in there. Eh?
Maybe Cook Islands and Fiji.
Yeah.
Andre Tunker. No, and that's exactly what he's
Get
doing.
a sponsor plug.
Jackson Merritt. Tyler Smith. So, Czech Republic, 2 baits, Australian, USA.
I think I'm going to go for Jackson to take this one out.
Will the 2 Czechs help each other, or will they try and knock each other out? I'd probably go for the secondary ones.
Yeah.
Well, Vit Prindis in red is certainly first away. Jackson Merritt in blue is looking to come round. Andre Tunker is looking to have a lift on the back of Vit's Brogt.
Jackson going for that left line again. Oh, and he's skipped
Good
through
tap,
there.
but
as
Powers
well.
pulled him through. So it's very much a case of Vit Prindis and Jackson Merritt in blue. Now, are they going to take each other? Oh, yeah, they
Jackson's
have.
got a clean line.
Jackson Merritt. It's all changed. It's all
You
changed.
could snake him on the inside. Oh, hitting that boil and going right into the rocks there. It's not gonna keep the speed on the boat.
So 3 of them went into the upstream on the right hand side there, and it just got a bit messy.
So is that Vit Prindis coming away?
Yeah. And I think it'll be a fight for Tunker and Merritt.
So no doubt about who's going to win, and he wins by, well, easily. Drifts over the line. Second, it's going to be Jackson Merritt.
Check 2 weeks in a row.
So Barbara Helleck goes over the rock.
Need to get the Kiwi boys to get them into it. Need that Kiwi domination.
And Tonka comes in third. Winner of the 2 finals, Martina Wegman from the Netherlands and Vip Prindis from the Czech Republic.
Backing up that slalom result as well to take the one in the boat across.
Yeah, 2 wins in a row.
Pretty impressive.
Good day for Vip.
Yeah. I think you'll sleep well tonight.
They're going over tomorrow morning. They're going over to driving over to Po because I think they have a session booked in the afternoon in Po.
Yeah. We can see everyone telling their stories again at the bottom.
So, boys, we've had a lot of excitement, a bit of drama, very deserving champions.
Yeah, definitely.
What do you like about it? Because you say you might be tempted to possibly, hypothetically, maybe sometime in the future have a look at having a go.
Yeah, for sure. We have to get a bit of training done though. We've got the Kaitana River at home, so maybe doing a few laps of that to prepare for it.
Yeah, it looks pretty fun. Everyone's enjoying themselves, so
No one's hurt.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not that we haven't heard any injuries, so yeah, it's good.
No, it looks pretty fun, and I think I have to do a bit of kayak to get that right arm warmed up for the race instead of doing the C1.
Finn Butcher, Ben Gibb and Matthew Layton, thank you so much for tuning in and following and learning at the same time as us. How does slalom cross work? It's not yet the perfect product, but it's a lot of excitement and potentially it can be really, really dynamic. Higo Vip Prindis takes Jackson Merritt and Tonka and Tyler Smith in the A final, small final. Lorne Powell, Chin Han Yeo and Mark Moses did not start. So that's really good weekends progressing. Tomorrow morning on the YouTube, on Facebook, you can tune in at 9:30 Central European time. The time now, as a check, is 6:45 in the evening, and we're going to have the K1 women's semi-finals followed by the C2, and then about lunchtime we're going to have the actual finals. So we're going to sign off for today. It's been a long day. I hope you'd appreciate it. If you want to keep up with the athletes, check them out at Planet Canoe. You can see what they're thinking, what they're doing, and we look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.